It's been a hot minute, but now that the remaster is out, I'm finally back in that Dark Souls mood. I'm gonna finish this bitch no matter what. But this time, not only are we gonna be fighting Gravelord Nito, I figure since you guys have been so patient with me, I decided to tack on a little surprise at the end of this video too. Just a little bit of extra content. It's nothing substantial, but I just didn't really want to make it its own video, and it'll pad out the length of this one too. So why not? Now, as far as this first part goes, it turns out that I massively overthought just how easy Gravelord Nito would be. He wound up taking me like 10 or 12 attempts, when it should have only taken me like 2 or 3 tops. However, in my defense, there's a particular mechanic that is instrumental in defeating Nito that I completely forgot about in the 9-month break that I took from this game. And you already know what I'm talking about. You're obviously supposed to use divine weapons on the skeleton so that they stop resurrecting themselves over and over again. I've been familiar with this mechanic for a very long time, but for whatever reason I just completely forgot about it. How embarrassing. That being said, what you're watching right now is my second or third attempt maybe, after recalling what I was supposed to do. I gotta hand it to myself though, I came up with some pretty creative strategies. Unconventional strategies that obviously never worked, but they were pretty cute. Like, one of the things I noticed was that he's capable of killing his own skeletons. So I had the bright idea of breaking out the Ring of the Evil Eye, so that, like, I might regain health for every single skeleton that dies. It turns out the ring doesn't work that way, but I was patting myself on the back over that one. I also thought that maybe using the hidden body spell might help out somehow, which is a strategy I carried into this attempt as well. It wasn't until I started using my divine broadsword against the skeletons that it suddenly dawned on me, oh yeah, I'm supposed to use divine weapons against the skeletons, that's right. And then the fight became absurdly easy. Like, absurdly easy. Like, I'm embarrassed that I took more than 3 attempts against this thing easy. But oh well, that's how it goes. So you can see me getting all set up. And it's just about time for the boss cutscene, so I'm gonna shut up for a second. It's a pretty cool cutscene. So after healing up that bullshit fall damage, I'm gonna make a beeline towards the right of the arena, but not before testing to see if the hidden body spell works on the skeletons. I think they can't see me with this spell. Either way, I have my Morning Star, which is infused with divine powers, so I can kill them permanently. And the neat thing about the Morning Star is that it actually inflicts OTG damage to these things, and it's particularly easy to do it, making it a superior option over my Divine Broadsword and my Divine Iaito. I still have to be careful not to allow Nito to kill any of his skeletons though, because when he kills them, they can still resurrect and create problems. Beyond that, there's really not a whole lot to worry about. Nito himself has a couple of annoying attacks, like if you hear this prolonged scream that lasts like 4 or 5 seconds, that means Nito is about to attack you with a spike that comes from up the ground, which hits you no matter where you're standing. You know, just like that. And the timing on this move is so weird. I don't think I ever learned to dodge it consistently. It especially sucks when it's the first move that he uses in the fight. Anyway, things are going pretty decently, but at the same time not really. I'm trying to play safe, but I'm taking a little bit more hits than I would like to be taking, but then again, I already took out 2 small skeletons and 1 big skeleton. And for every skeleton I kill, it just gets easier and easier to pick off the rest. So while my gameplay is kinda shitty for YouTube standards, and I apologize for that, I'm still technically winning the fight at this point. But yes, I do realize I'm doing a shitty job. Like, I never really bothered to re-familiarize myself with the Morningstar's moveset before going into this fight, which is why you see me going for these awkwardly timed attacks, like I'm trying to go for these weak strikes when they're way too slow to hit these things fast enough, and if I could redo this fight and make it a little bit more exciting to watch, I definitely would. But yeah, at this point I've killed all the skeletons, And now I can break out my signature weapon and just take on this bastard one-on-one. And this is the part where it gets pretty pathetic, because Nito one-on-one is just not that difficult. He might even be easier overall than, say, the Asylum Demon, at least relative to the skill that you're assumed to have at that point in the game. You have this boss that's so slow. All of his sword slashes are telegraphed as shit, and you can just completely lace into him without taking a scratch. I mean, okay, he did scratch me earlier, and he does manage to hit me a couple times later on. But that's because I was rushing. I just wanted to kill this boss and be done, and I wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna style on this boss by not taking a single hit or anything. I just wanted to be done, and I just kind of tried to kill him as fast as possible, which is why I'm two-handing the spear and everything, which I don't normally do. I didn't break out the KO Ken because I just didn't think it was necessary, and in fact I don't even have it equipped. I just have Hidden Body, Oral Decoy, and Cast Light. I didn't even bring any of my Pyromancies with me, which I actually could have because I believe he's actually weak to fire. I think I read about that a couple days ago. Nito is weak to fire. But I didn't need it. I just straight up didn't need it. And in fact, the rest of this fight is pretty long and tedious, so I'm pretty much just going to skip to the end. Alright, that's 3 down, and then there was 1. The Witch of Ceaseless. Wait, don't fade out yet. I'm not done. With the Gravelord slain, that left me with a couple of options. I can either go to the Great Hollow, which I tried to explore a while back, but I never really got too far, before getting beaten up by those mushroom fucks. Or I could visit here, the Demon Ruins, which I haven't really explored at all. And since I am here, I have something to show you guys. As you guys already know, at this point in the game you have 4 primary bosses to kill in the critical path. I've killed the 4 kings, I've killed Ceaseless, I've killed Gravelord Nito, and now I have to kill the Witch of Ceaseless. In any case, I don't have any leads on where this person is. She was mentioned once by the blacksmith in the Tomb of the Giants. Or maybe not her name specifically, but the dude mentioned something about Ceaseless, and it being impossible to get there or something. And that was the one time I've seen anything related to that name. So I figured I'd come here, since I haven't explored it at all, to see if I could find some answers. And lo and behold, since my game sense is just off the charts, apparently, I was able to find another lead rather quickly. But I also ended up fighting another boss. So yeah, the first time you traverse these ruins, this horrendous piece of shit doesn't attack you at all, and it's only triggered to attack you if you pick up some clothes. Clothes which I later found out belonged to the Witch of Ceaseless. The exciting thing is that this puts me on the right track, I think. The shitty thing is that I have to fight this thing now. But it's not that shitty. I mean, this guy is also pretty easy too. You're watching my second attempt. He only killed me the first time because I just kind of panicked. Like, I saw it coming. I knew that when I picked up the item that he was probably going to wake up and start attacking me, but it just wasn't really well prepared for the actual fight itself, and I died pretty quickly. But I didn't need more than 2 attempts for this thing. It's a pretty easy and boring fight, all things considered. Pretty much all you have to do for the entire fight is just sprint back and forth, and when he tries to slam his limbs down on you, he'll never be able to catch up as long as you sprint. You can see why I didn't want to have this thing as its own separate video, because it's such a really underwhelming boss, to be honest. So I just thought I'd tack it on to the end here because it's a bonus, I guess. Because like I said before, you guys have been just so patient with me across this entire playthrough, and I just thought this would be a good way to have something a little extra for those of you who are still following. But yeah, other than that, I just don't really have a lot to say about this thing. Super easy, but it does feel good to strike another name off of that list. We're coming towards the end game now, and I'm very excited to actually finish this game once and for all. Thanks for sticking it out with me. See you in the next one.